welcome to the MJ Take on Sports Fan Entertainment as the Pittsburgh Steelers defeat the Baltimore Ravens and win the AFC North title here on Christmas Day. Merry Christmas to you all. I hope you all have had a good one. I received some pretty good presents, so I'm in a good mood today after a horrible day yesterday where my favorite player in the NFL snapped his leg like a damn twig. But today, the Pittsburgh Steelers won their division. They defeated the Baltimore Ravens in what was another AFC North Steelers and Ravens, just classic game where in the fourth quarter a lot of points were scored mainly by the Pittsburgh Steelers, but we really had a fantastic ending as the Steelers came back from down 20-10. They went up 24-20. The Ravens came back, scored a touchdown of their own, and then the Steelers came back with only a minute and 18 seconds left. They went down and scored a touchdown of their own and ultimately won the game. How about Antonio Brown and that winning touchdown play as the Pittsburgh Steelers run a slant route with about 15 or 14 seconds left on the clock. They were on a slant route with Antonio Brown with a depth of which he was not in the end zone. I mean, he caught the ball, the depth of this route was not in the end zone. He caught the ball really at the 1 yard line and then maybe at the 2 yard line and then had to fight his way past three defenders, Eric Weddle, maybe CJ Mosley or Zachary Orr actually, and then some other guy, and just fought his way and then ended up reaching and getting the football over the goal line. As a Tennessee Titans fan, I was getting shades and remembrance of the infamous 1 yard shy play of Kevin Dyson and that horrible play, Steve McNair, all of that back in 1999, except this time it actually worked out in the offensive team's favor as Antonio Brown reached the ball, got it over, and that's just spectacular awareness by possibly the best wide receiver in the NFL today. As he knows, hey, I need to reach this ball and get it over the goal line because let me tell you something right now, the time would have ran out. 9 seconds left, he scored that touchdown. Let's say he falls down. Then the Steelers are going to say, okay, we got to go. Referees take a while. They probably, to me, almost 100% to me, they don't get that next playoff. And this Steelers team loses this game. Mike Tomlin put his balls out there. And there's something that he loves to do, man. He loves putting his big black balls out there saying, guess what I'm going to do? And see if we're going to win or lose because of it. Today they won. And Mike Tomlin is a guy that has been under a lot of scrutiny lately. Terry Bradshaw, infamously now, has gone out against this guy. I mean, not really gone out against this guy, but he has said he doesn't think that he's a great coach. And a lot of people have been very offended by that, have been shocked by that. Personally, I like Mike Tomlin. If I'm ranking the 32 coaches in the NFL, for me, he ranks about maybe 6 or 7, maybe even as high as 5. I like him, right? You wish that he could win a Super Bowl or at least get back to a Super Bowl, but if you're going to say, and if you're going to compare Mike Tomlin to, let's just compare him to Bill Cowher. We can go before that to their, what's his name, Chuck Noll or whatever the old Steelers coach name was. But let's worry about something that's somewhat recent, like Bill Cowher. Mike Tomlin's a better head coach than Bill Cowher to me. I don't think it's very close. I know Bill Cowher went 15-1, I believe his last season in Pittsburgh, and they won the Super Bowl. But I think, to me, by far, Mike Tomlin's a better head coach than Bill Cowher. He won a Super Bowl earlier in his tenure. You can say he just had Bill Cowher's team and he used Bill Cowher's team. I don't think so. Mike Tomlin had Bill Cowher's team the first year, went 10-6, then the next year made improvements, and then went 12-4 and won the Super Bowl. And he has a better win percentage than Bill Cowher. All right, so he now has the equal amount of Super Bowls as Bill Cowher, has a better win percentage than Bill Cowher, and this Steelers team is going to be winning games for years to come. Right, now that they have Le'Veon Bell, now that they have Antonio Brown, they're set for success. For years to come, they're going to be in the playoffs. Ben Roethlisberger is still pretty young. I know he's not young, but the guy still has 5, 6, 7 years left, honestly. So he's going to be in the league for a while to come now. So don't worry about Big Ben. He still has plenty of years to me. Absolutely plenty. I think he's a guy that can play until he's 39, maybe 38, 40, we'll see. But I still think 5 years, 4 or 5 years, not 6 or 7, 4 or 5 years for Ben Roethlisberger. So Mike Tomlin, to me, I like Mike Tomlin, and he made a great call today. Now, he was calling defensive plays late in this game, and I was not in love with that and what they were doing defensively at all. In fact, I thought they were doing just a horrible job, and what a disgraceful job by these Pittsburgh Steelers linebackers that I believe might be the most overrated core of any core in the NFL for any team. We always talk about these Steelers linebackers, all these Steelers linebackers. They're not very good. Bud Dupree really doesn't do anything. I believe he had a sack today, but man, the guy hasn't done much this season. Lawrence Timmons is getting old. Ryan Shazier, he doesn't do much. Where was Ryan Shazier when Kyle Juszczyk was running up the middle for the go-ahead touchdown in the fourth quarter? Where was Ryan Shazier? Where was Ryan Shazier when the tight end of the Ravens, Dennis Pettit, was catching a first down and Ryan Shazier was 1 or 2 seconds late on that play? Ryan Shazier is overrated, people. He's not that good. He's very inconsistent. He's not reliable. He's not Luke Kuechly. He's not what Navarro Bowman was. He's not what Patrick Willis was. He's not a great linebacker, inside 3-4 linebacker to me. Le'Veon Bell, though. Let's get to him. What a great game for Le'Veon Bell. And, I know a lot of y'all got sick. I saw some people on Twitter saying, oh my God, I'm sick of these commentators talking about Le'Veon Bell and how good he is. But boys, he's freaking good as he is shifting and accelerating and hesitating and in and out, and just the incredible athleticism, agility, acceleration, and just hesitation and running back vision, that all these traits that Le'Veon Bell has, he is quickly becoming, to me, one of the best running backs in the NFL. To me, and I know Cowboy fans probably won't love this, but it is to me between him and David Johnson. And I know Ezekiel Elliott is very good. I'm not saying that he's not. But boy, these guys are freaking dynamic, dog. And Ezekiel Elliott is very good. I think he'd probably be number 3, right? But to me, it's between Le'Veon Bell and David Johnson. These two are fantastic. Then probably Ezekiel Elliott, then probably LaShawn McCoy, then probably DeMarco Murray, and then we can go on and on from there. Ben Roethlisberger, 2 interceptions today, and they weren't very good. He was throwing high a lot today, especially in the first half. I don't know why. He just loved throwing the ball high today. He was inaccurate early, but he was accurate when he needed to be during that fourth quarter drive. Now, one inaccurate pass that I can remember on that fourth quarter drive, an excellent drive to win the game by Ben Roethlisberger. Antonio Brown finished today with 96 receiving yards and the go-ahead touchdown. Eli Rogers, he actually ended up having a good game, but they need more receiving weapons outside of Antonio Brown. The interesting thing about the Steelers team is they really don't possess the ball much. The Ravens won the time of possession today. It really wasn't close. It was 35-25, and it probably should have been more than that. But the Steelers really had the ball most of the fourth quarter, to me, just thinking about the game right now. So it could have been even worse in terms of time of possession if the Ravens actually won this game. So they need to possess the ball a little bit more. They couldn't convert a lot of third downs today, especially early, so that was the reason why. So they need some more reliable go-to plays on third down. And Jesse James and what's his name, the Ladarius Green, who I believe didn't play today, they need to be more productive on third down. Jesse James has been doing all right. Ladarius Green had one great game, but besides that, hasn't done much. They need to get more involved and be more consistent. Defensively, again, Timmons had a sack today. Same with Bud Dupree. But this whole linebacking core, they're just not very good to me. The corners, they're not great. I give you that. But I think the linebackers are worse. I'm just not impressed by the Steelers linebackers that everyone else says, oh, they're so good. James Harrison, he's still actually very good, but he's old, right? So he's not going to get anything past this year or next year. So that's the problem with the Steelers right now to me. Their linebackers, they're just not very good. Mike Mitchell, you wish you would have been able to tackle Kyle Juszczyk on that go-ahead touchdown by the Ravens, but he was unable to. Javon Hargrave doing an okay job stepping up for Cameron Hayward and his injury. So this Steelers defense, they're all right. They're playing better. Today wasn't a great day at all for them, but they're playing better. I know Ryan Shazier had an interception today, by the way, but still, I'm not impressed by Ryan Shazier overall. So also, I think that occurred on the final play. So I really don't care. Let's move on to the Ravens now. Okay, Joe Flacco had a really good day. And, he went out and he played very Joe Flacco-esque. It was a big game and he showed up. And he played a very good game. He was very accurate, very composed. His wide receivers let him down, especially Brashad Perriman with a number of drops, like 2 drops. And he was masterful. He owned the offense, led his team down the field for the go-ahead touchdown. It's his defense that couldn't step up for him. Running game today, Terrence West couldn't get anything done early, so they went to Kenneth Dixon. Good. I think this Ravens team needs to look to draft a running back this year. If Dalvin Cook is available, take him. If Christian McCaffrey is available, consider taking him. I think they need a more dynamic running back. I think that helped Joe Flacco. Kenneth Dixon has shown promise, but I think they could really use someone dynamic to help their offense, or just a really good wide receiver as well. But they need something to spark this offense to me. I know defensively they had a bad day today, so we're going to nitpick them and say, oh, we need this, we need that. But to me, the offense is still the real problem here. Don't let today fool you. This offense has been inconsistent the entire season, not the defense. We look at defensively for this Ravens team today. And very disappointed by that final drive. Terrell Suggs, where were you at, bro? You need to get a sack here, dog. I remember one play he was rushing inside, going up against the center, which should be that old Tampa Bay center. I can't remember his name right now. Jeremy Zuta, I believe. He was going up against him, inside rush, 2 feet away from Ben Roethlisberger, and he was just absolutely stalwart. I mean, this guy could not move, absolutely brick-walled, could not get past this center and get to Ben Roethlisberger. You expect Terrell Suggs, Elvis Dumervil, these 2 veterans to step up for you and win you the football game. They didn't do it. They couldn't do it. And as a result, the Ravens lost today to me. I mean, really on that last drive, they needed to get 1 sack. 1 sack there could kill the entire drive. At least would prevent them from scoring a touchdown and get this game extended to overtime. They couldn't get 1 sack. And to me, 1 sack would really have changed the outcome of this game. We'd be in overtime right now as I speak. We move on to the cornerbacks, the secondary. They did an okay job. Now, I'm not sure who had the primary coverage of Antonio Brown today. I believe it was, what's his name? Number 24. Well, I'm not sure who that is. Is that Jimmy Smith, who I think is not healthy right now? So I'm not sure who it is. Maybe it was Gerard Powers, or maybe it was Ladarius Webb, but whoever, or maybe Sharice Wright, actually. Whoever it was, number 24 did not do a good job. Tavon Young, I've been impressed with his rookie season. I think he's a cornerback you can build around moving forward for your defense. Eric Weddle, I wish he would have been able to stop Antonio Brown on that final play, but he's been good this season, but he's getting old, but he should have 2 or 3 seasons left, so he should be fine there. But in the secondary, you could add a corner. Okay, just 1 corner, not too early. I've seen some Ravens fans wanting a corner in the first round. I wouldn't go that early, but you could seek to upgrade in your secondary. A linebacker, Zachary Orr. I don't know why guys love Zachary Orr. I think he's okay. And in fact, I think it's a little below average, if anything. So I know he has a lot of tackles this season and whatnot, but C.J. Mosley's much better. And I think you could add a better player next to C.J. Mosley. So that's something I would look to do. Receiving core real quick. Brashad Perriman. To me, this is not a guy I want to build around for our receiving core. Today he had 3 receptions, 32 yards, had 5 targets. He had 1 very big drop, I remember, and I believe he had another, right? He's a guy that drops the football a lot, right? He has a lot of speed, but he has injury problems. He's been okay this season, but to me, he is not your number 1 wide receiver moving forward. If he is, you have a problem. Same goes with Mike Wallace. You need to get a number 1 wide receiver in Baltimore. I don't think you're going to do it, though. I think if Mike Williams is available, if Corey Davis is available, if John Ross is available, I don't think you're taking him. I don't think the Ravens put that much of an emphasis on their wide receivers. I was even surprised when they took Brashad Perriman back in, 2014 or 2015 NFL draft. So I don't expect them to do it. Perhaps they do, but I'd be surprised. We'll see if they do it. I definitely would. That'd be one of my things that I'm looking at. And I think Alshon Jeffrey might be a good fit here with Joe Flacco and his type of quarterback play and his quarterback style. I would like that fit. I'm not sure they have the money for it, or they have the attention or just the, emphasis for it. So I won't put any expectations on that. But I would take to upgrade the wide receiving core and the running back position and worry the defense. You need edge rushers, some young edge rushers and whatnot, but there's only so much you can do. You don't have much cap space. You never do. And you only have so many draft picks. You have like 7, right? I don't think you guys have acquired any more draft picks. You will have some compensatory picks, so maybe like 8 or 9, maybe 10. So there's only so much you can do. Just continue to build the Ozzie Newsome way, and then hope you guys can find some late round guys that, you know, perform really well and do whatever and do great for you. But we'll see how this Ravens team does in the future. I didn't like them to make the playoffs this year. I had this Ravens team going 7-9, and they've beaten that, right? And I think next week they go up against Cincinnati. In fact, I know that. And they may lose that one. They may win that one. So either way, though, I feel good about my prediction. I have them missing the playoffs, you know, being around 500. They're going to miss the playoffs and be about 500. They're exactly where I thought they'd be. To improve upon that, they have to get a really good draft in, because they're probably not going to sign free agents. It was a surprise when they signed Eric Weddle. You know, they're probably not going to go down that route again. They should, though. They're probably going to look for some cheaper contracts like a Mike Wallace, and hoping that they can get more production out of them than what we're expecting. So we'll see what this Ravens team does in the future. Now, real quick, as we look ahead to the AFC playoff picture as it pertains to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, a lot of people believe this Steelers team has no chance of beating the New England Patriots, and those people are fools. Now, I'm not here to say that this Steelers team will beat the New England Patriots. I think that statement would be foolish to make. However, they have a legitimate shot. First of all, I think they're going there. If you are discouraged by the Steelers' performance today, don't be. The Steelers, they have trouble with the Ravens. This is the best rivalry in the NFL, okay? The Patriots and the Jets was close, but now it's not anymore. The Cardinals and the Seahawks is very close, right? It doesn't matter if they're close. It doesn't matter if one team loses. Don't read anything into it, honestly, because one team can just be the other, and one team can struggle with the other, and it really doesn't mean anything. The Steelers next week, if they want to win big against Cleveland, they'll win big against Cleveland. And their first round matchup, when they go up against the when they go up against the Miami Dolphins, they're going to beat the Dolphins pretty easily. From there, they're going to go up against possibly the Kansas City Chiefs or the Oakland Raiders, and they're going to beat them pretty easily to me. So don't read too much, or possibly the Houston Texans. And then they're going to go to the AFC Championship. So don't read too much in this matchup. If I see people saying, oh, the Steelers barely beat the Ravens, they're not going to do anything, they're going to do something. They're going to go to the AFC Championship game to me. And that's what I had before the season. Before the season, I had them going to the Super Bowl as well. Will they get there? Now, I backed off of that, but what they need is Ben Roethlisberger to have one game, okay? He's had a lot of interceptions this season, 13 interceptions in probably what has been 13 games, I want to say, this season. That's too much for Ben Roethlisberger. If he can go one game against the Patriots with no interceptions, they can control the ball with Le'Veon Bell. Antonio Brown causes the Patriots to have some issues, and this Steelers defense can show up a little bit. They can certainly beat the Patriots. Now, I'm not going to bet on that, but this thing ain't over yet. I see a lot of people say, okay, it's over, Patriots to the Super Bowl. Let's calm down. This Patriots team can defeat the New England Patriots. So do not sleep on this AFC playoff race just yet. So there you go. Those are my thoughts on the Pittsburgh Steelers defeating the Baltimore Ravens 31-27. What are yours? Comment down below. I want to know. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, and most importantly, to subscribe. And until next time, this has been the MJ Take on Sports Fan Entertainment. Feliz Navidad, and I'm out. Peace.